I think they call that a grain match right there. %. Hate to build something and then have regrets about it. So far, I'm very pleased with this little table. Now, it's a little project. This is not going to change the world, and it doesn't matter anything to anybody else but me. And that's the way your workshop is too, I'm sure, whether it's in your garage, in your basement, in the utility room, out in the outbuilding, whatever. A man needs to have a place to do a little work. So now I've come to the considerations anyway of shelving. I can see, if the good Lord lets me live, I can see where my needs here and my use of this space is going to change over time. I'm thinking about making me some shelves here, and again, this would be, well, let's face it, you put up shelves and they probably get permanent. But my plan is to make this right now, these shelves, for what I'm using this space for in the foreseeable 3 to 5 year range. And then it may change. And if it does, you know, so be it. That'd be wonderful and fine. So today I'm gonna get on the sawmill and I'm gonna take some of that ash that we sawed in the last video, and I'm going to saw up some 1-bys. It won't take them long to dry, and I'm going to use them for shelving. But I am going to dry them probably at least a couple of weeks, air dry them before I put them up as shelving. Now, this table here probably, no doubt, goes against conventional wisdom that you can't mill a log, although the log's been on the yard for a year and a half or so, I don't remember. If you take the, I didn't do it, I should have. If you take a moisture reading of that log that's been laying out there, it's not much different than when it was cut. Now, I know I've heard some people say on YouTube, but they've given you the wrong information. They said that, you know, this log's been laying on the yard, we're going to bring it in, the moisture's gone out of it, it's dry, we're going to mill it up. I would mention a particular channel that said that. It's not the case. I mean, it's just not. The moisture doesn't really leave that log until that log is milled. And so these here had not been air dried but maybe 3 weeks. And conventional wisdom would tell you, well, you can't join those together and you can't bring them in and use them for a workbench because they're not going to be stable, they're going to warp up and this and that and the other. Well, I can just tell you, this thing here is still as flat as the day that I built it, the day that I glued it up, and it's not, no splitting, no nothing. I've had the wood stove going, I've had it warm in here, and as far as I'm concerned, it's probably going to be there just like it is until the cows come home. But we're going to get on the mill, saw up some 1-bys, finish out a couple of slabs, see what we can do in finishing up that big ash log. Let me know what you do in your workshop. I guess when I say let me know, I would be interested to know what you would do differently, or any regrets that you have, or something that you found that has been just the cat's meow for you. You know, a place to put bits or something, or just, you know, how big is that space for particular items. Like you may have a mallet that you use often and you've got a place for it. You might have some pipe wrenches that you store in a particular location. I mean, what good it is if you can't find it. But if you got a place for it, then your chances of finding it are a whole lot better, aren't they? That's sort of that's the end goal, to have a place for everything and everything in its place. Something I found, and you might agree with this, the older you get, the even more critical that is. Having a place for everything and everything in its place. It's not always possible, but it is admirable to have that as goal. All right, let's get to milling and we'll see what we can do. That was without question the slowest I've ever pushed that mill. But I tell you what, when you're trying to push through, that's 25 inches of hard ash. You just gotta let the saw do what the saw's capable of doing. And you know, it can only do what it can do. And if you try to go push it over that, if I try to push it over that, it just ain't gonna do it. It can do what it can do, but it can't do more than that. I'm gonna have to get a little bigger wedges because I can't quite get my forks in there with that. Just out of curiosity, this log here, or this slab, was in a log 24 hours, well, a little more than 24 hours ago. Let's see what it's reading. 19%. Okay, I just made this cut 10 seconds ago. %. This 2-inch slab was taken off about you probably can't see that, I don't know. It's 18%. These slabs over here, they're about 3 weeks air drying. Okay? 11%. 12.6. That's just curiosity to me, because I know it dries fast, air drying. I'll tell you what let's do. Let's go in here and check this work table, because it's been put together now. Some people have guard dogs. I have guard chickens. They think they're guard chickens. Let's just check this work table. This ought to be right interesting. %. Check it on the bottom side. 9.9%. Now I realize that probe is not real deep in that wood. I don't know. I don't know if people are intentionally, I don't think anybody would intentionally try to mislead us on moisture content and how things can work and do work. I can only tell you what my experience has been, or has been, and let me tell you what my experience has been. I've cut lumber that's air dried for 4 or 5 years. Never been kiln dried, air dried. I've planed it out, glued it up. I've made 2 beds, 3 end tables. I've made a lot of little pieces of furniture for our house. And I've not had, well, I had 1 bedpost that delaminated. I guess you would call it that. The glue come loose. But I don't think that was the wood moving. I think that was the, I think I just didn't get it glued properly. But other than that, and that was before I bought the mill. If I'd had the mill, I'd had solid post, but I didn't at that time, so I had to glue boards together to make my post. I think they're 3.5 by 3.5 on 1 bed. And I've not had any problems with building furniture out of wood that's been air dried. That's just my end conclusion. That's been my experience, and take that for what it's worth. So this is down below the pith. I think I had a wee bit too much water going there. May have been what caused the stickiness. Man, oh man, oh man. I'm down to the best part of the log now. There's almost 0 check on that. That's 2 pretty boards. Little bit of end checking. Let's see how long they are. 91 inches long. I believe you can make use of that. Guard chickens. Like the shelves, 1.5 inches. They're actually going to finish out about 1 7/16 inches. What I'm doing here, this is what I call my AccuSet. This board's 3 inches thick. That mark right there is 1.5 inches. Right there. If I put that blade right in the center of that, this board and that board, they'll be the same, and that'll be the thickness of my shelves. About 1 7/16 inches each one, and then as they dry out, they'll probably dry out about a little less than 1 3/8 inches. That'd be a good strong shelf. Get you to look at this with me and make sure I hit the mark. That ought to be good enough. Now, if your shelves are 3 feet long, you know you're not going to have any sag. And that, well, as hard as this stuff is, you might even, well, I probably wouldn't want to go over 3 feet. Depending on what kind of weight you're going to be putting on them. That's the prettiest, honest to goodness. And I'm not going to move my saw head, because this 2x6, 3x6, is the same thickness as that 3x12 there. We'll just bring it over here and we'll splice it. And so here's my shop shelves. Is that beautiful or what? And these don't have, as you can see, they don't have any in checking whatsoever. I think they call that a grain match right there. I guess I can do that with these little ones. By George, you can. Look at there. We got one more piece on that log, and then that log will be done. This is function over fashion, but it's still some pretty good fashion. And while I got you here, let me mention one other thing. I did some checking last night, and it appears that about between 7 and 8 out of 10 of folks that watching the channel, you're not subscribed. Now, it doesn't cost anything to subscribe. All you have to do is hit that button, then hit that bell, and that way you get a notification next time I put a video out, and I appreciate you watching that. Watching a fella's channel and getting some, I don't know, getting something out of it anyway, is like going to church and not putting anything in the plate. Man, help me out. Subscribe. I'd appreciate it. I'm out. See you next time.